Another major mystery making headlines. Maybe consider it stacking the deck on our already attack on our food industry. We are getting major reports of massive disappearance of crabs. And when I say massive, I'm talking about billions. Billions of crabs disappearing, and no one knows why. This is gonna put a massive food shortage in effect with our seafood industry. That's right, there will be empty shelves when it comes to our luxury seafood items. In addition, shocking closures to the season, causing catastrophic business closures to fishing businesses. Thousands of restaurants and grocery stores will be hit. This is something that has never happened before. What happened to all the crabs? Shocking news you should know coming right up. Welcome back to all the subs. If you guys are brand new here and you like news that affects you, along with prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos, weekly, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. The big question that everyone's asking, and it's making tons of headlines, is the disappearance of billions of crabs off the coast of Alaska. So let's go over some reports that are making headlines right now. We'll also go over a couple comments from boots on the ground, folks in Alaska. To top it off, I found some reasons why all the crabs have disappeared. We're talking about the answers of billions of crabs gone. Like some saying they all moved to Russian waters. Very bizarre this is. Let's get going on it.
In a major blow to America's seafood industry, Alaska's Department of Fish and Game has canceled the winter snow crab season in the Bering Sea due to falling numbers. While restaurant menus will suffer, the greatest impact will be to the economy to the tune of $200 million.
Now, as I said before, this has never happened before, creating new food shortages and definitely making headlines.
An estimated 1 billion crabs mysteriously disappeared in just 2 years. That's a 90% plunge.
What does the Fish and Game have to say? The Fish and Game Department released a statement saying, management of Bering Sea snow crab must now focus on conservation and rebuilding given the conditions of the stock. With crab industry input, ADF&G will continue to evaluate options for rebuilding, including potential for sustainably fishing during periods of low abundance. This will allow ADF&G to work on issues related to the state and federal co-management, observer coverage, discard mortality, and fishery viability. And Jamie Goen, Executive Director of Alaska Bering Sea Crabberies, said, crabbers will be going out of business as a result of the cancellation. Cancellation of the crabbing season. That's crazy. The Guardian reported Alaska officials have canceled the upcoming snow crab season due to population decline across the Bering Sea. We're talking about second and third generation of families that have been fishing will go out of business.
You're real proud. Fishing runs in his veins.
My father's been fishing for over 40 years in the Bering Sea. I fish alongside my brothers. My mom has crab fished before.
But Monday, his family got shocking news.
It's going to be devastating.
The Department of Fish and Game announced the closure of both the Bristol Bay red king crab and Bering Sea snow crab seasons.
Let's go over this report by New Scientist. Why have billions of snow crabs disappeared from Alaskan waters? The state of Alaska has canceled the snow crab harvest for the first time due to a dramatic 90% decline in population. Here's what they know about why so many crabs have disappeared. So many snow crabs have disappeared from Alaskan waters that the Alaskan Department of Fish and Game has had to cancel the snow crab harvest for the first time. It is not known exactly why the crabs are disappearing so quickly, but warming waters could be the blame. In 2018, there were about 8 billion snow crabs skulking along the floor of the Bering Sea. Last year, the number fell to 1 billion. A population drop of more than 87%. The lack of crabs could be a result of particularly warm water in the Bering Sea in 2018 and 2019, says Miranda Westball at the ADF&G. The cold water-loving crustaceans may have been limited to pockets of frigid water, which would reduce access to food and increase competition. That in turn would have made the crabs stressed and more susceptible to disease and predation, says Westball. But to me, that doesn't really explain nearly a 90% decrease. That's a lot. It goes on to say, since the early 1980s, snow crab populations have crept northward, by around 30 kilometers, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, probably because the animals were searching for colder temperatures. And I believe that. They probably are looking for colder waters, but it doesn't explain a huge whopping 90% movement. Alaska has also paused the harvest of red king crabs. Not good. Those are some of my favorites. For the second year in a row, citing low numbers of mature female crabs. It isn't yet clear how long the pause of snow crab harvest will last. Though it is an economic blow to the local fishing industry, officials say the move is necessary to protect the remaining crabs. And in quotes, it is likely that we will continue to see snow crab declines for the next 3 to 4 years, says Westpaul, who notes that the ADF&G saw a large number of young crabs during the survey this summer. We are hopeful that if these small crabs survive, the population will eventually rebuild. Just really bizarre. Now, a lot of people are going to be pointing their fingers in the direction of global warming. That's the reason why all the crabs are gone. But 90%, billions, disappeared. Doesn't make any sense. Now, before we get to the reason why, the mysterious disappearance of Alaskan crabs, the reasons I dug up, let's read 3 reports, 3 boots on the ground comments from folks that are close to the situation. Dees writes, update, I'm an Alaskan. Everybody forgets about the big ass hurricane, the size of the state of Alaska that just recently hit Alaska. After those kinds of storms, fishing is affected. Plus, there's been a massive overfishing in the fishing fields over the last 10 years. They always throw back the females and undersized, and they keep the huge males. Eventually, you run out of males. On a positive note, there are plenty of halibut. My buddy just got a big 380 pounder and a 100 pounder over the weekend. I sure would like to catch one of them big halibuts. Syracuse in Alaska writes, not only the snow crabs, but the Dungeness crabs here in the southeast have plunged. Salmon numbers have been decreasing also. I know here on our river, it's a salmon river, and we had record numbers this year, and big salmon too. D-Mac Fisher writes, our wonderful Canadian government did it to the East Coast this summer also by closing the mackerel fishery. They could have closed it to companies who fish with seines, S-E-I-N-E-S, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, or put a weight restriction or bigger mesh size on the nets, but they closed it all together. A lot of families depend on that income from fishing in the Atlantic Providence. In the last few years, the catches have been increasing. It doesn't appear to have been a danger of being fished out. So with that, what do you guys think is going on here? So the why? Why did 1 billion crabs just disappear and nobody knows? Well, some experts fear that the likely cause include increased predation and stresses from warmer water. And like I said, a lot of this is getting blamed on warmer water. And some extremists are saying it's because they're overfished. But even reports to CNN said it wasn't overfishing that caused the collapse. And that's coming from the director for NOAA Fisheries. And here it says researchers with the ADF&G are saying that disease is a possibility. And other experts are saying that they may have went north to a colder water, possibly going to Russian waters. Like I said, I did a ton of research. Most reports are blaming it on the climate crisis. I've also read it's possible that they may have been eaten due to predation, and they may have eaten each other. But the most far-fetched one I heard was they got abducted by aliens, which with no evidence on the table, I suppose it could be a possibility. But a good question is, what are these guys up there in this fishery thinking about the future?
We need a rapid relief financial program to get us through disasters like this, much like farmers get during crop failures or communities get soon after a hurricane or flood.
What does a person do whose life is dependent on the ocean when the ocean stops giving?
Hope and pray.
Hope and pray the snow crabs return, and his way of life continues.
It's just real crazy. The disappearance of 1 billion crabs, shutting down the whole industry. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Share this video so I can get some good feedback on this. And I will continue keeping you guys posted. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing, guys. We'll see you on the next one.